Welcome back to Real Estate with Mariah and Spenc. We did a video maybe a year ago now. It was back when we were still on the radio.
Yeah.
Yes. And basically, we just answered a question that we get asked a lot. And that was about how we run our business as a married couple. And that's what the whole show was about. And so we thought, why don't we just kind of recreate that, but maybe a little bit more of like an updated
like
style.
Where we're at now.
Where we're at. Things change all the time.
Exactly. A year and a half ago, whenever it was when we did that show, we can check the date and update that in the comments. But it was different. Real estate was different. Life was different.
Yeah.
Our child was different.
Definitely.
We were different.
Yes.
And we had different seasons going on around us. So this is going to be a really good show. I really love just sitting down in the seat, Mariah sharing what today's topic is. If you are a husband and wife real estate team, or you have other real estate team members, or just being a solo agent and a presence in the office, a lot of this stuff is really good for you to listen to.
Yes, or any type of business that you're running as a couple. I mean, I feel like all of this is probably applicable to, but we really, as well, it's usual, sometimes we do, but a lot of times we don't have any notes necessarily to go off on. This is all just going to be a conversation off the top of our heads, whatever comes up. So it's, grab your popcorn. I got my tea here.
Popcorn. I ain't putting you to sleep.
Might get a little long.
So I today, working with your wife.
I just want to start out by saying, though, because a comment I hear all the time is that they would hate their spouse if they work together. Do you ever hate me? Be completely honest. Do you ever hate working with me? Because I don't feel that way. There's a difference between
hate and very, 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 very annoyed.
Is it ever because of working together, though, real estate?
There's just decisions or things that sometimes you do in the process, even though you're getting the job done, the outcome is still going to be the same.
Sometimes.
So your thought, your thought process.
Yeah.
Because we're different people.
Are different sometimes.
And that's life.
That's
I have to come to terms with that.
Yeah.
I have to come to terms where not every car is the same. You are not the same person that I would be dealing with in a different office space. I can guarantee you that.
Right. But another thing, as far as decisions go, I started the business and then you jumped in and joined me a couple years later. But
that's
I feel like
tricky.
You're now more in the head position. Like you're kind of the guy that makes the decisions. Wouldn't you say?
I would say
in a lot of ways.
Yes, in a lot of ways.
In a lot of ways.
Yes. And here's why. It's not that Mariah's taken a step back or I've just pushed my way forward. No, hear me out, though. It's because your positioning has changed.
Yeah, that's true.
Because when you got in the business, we didn't have a baby. We didn't have a kid. We didn't have a 3-year-old.
That's true.
And we personally had so much more different freedoms.
Yeah.
We just ran our lives differently.
Right.
Then.
And just to go back, a little background if you're new here. I got my real estate license when I was 18 and we got married really young. We were 18. Well, no, we weren't 18. We were 19 and 20 when we got married.
She was 20.
Yes. And then
she's a cougar.
And then a couple years after we got married, I was doing really well with my business. And so it was a time for him to quit his job and jumped in and joined me. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if this was always the goal for you, but in the back of my mind, my goal was always to do well enough in real estate on my own and work really hard at first so that you could quit your job and join me. And then we would both be able to run our business together. So eventually when we did have kids, because we didn't have kids yet at this point, we would be able to have a lifestyle where we're not both gone all the time and I'm still able to work, but I definitely can do it as much as I want to with my kid. I can pull back. That was always
now the
my
truth
goal.
Comes out though, because I never knew
really?
that.
That was one of the things
know that.
When I was door
knocking. I'm not joshing you guys. I did not know her future plan.
I didn't know you did
of getting me into real estate.
I thought it was obvious. When I was door knocking, when I was gone all day working really hard, that was kind of what made it easy for me because I knew I'm not going to be doing this forever. This is going to turn into something that is easier to, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
get clients, our business will change. So that was really a big, my big why,
You know what's really unique
why do you do things?
About that mindset though?
What?
You had so much confidence in yourself. Think about it. You wanting to be a solo agent, wanting to wrap me in, knowing we're going to grow, knowing that you're going to be able to take a step aside. That, in a lot of ways, imagine both spouses in a family working, okay? One makes 60, one makes 60 grand. So you're both making 120 grand a year. One is now jobless. Now you're only working off 60 grand a year. That's what I mean, the confidence side of the what ifs. Mariah just blows through those walls. That's one thing that just talking with you just now, that if you guys don't pick up on that, this is Mariah daily. She just blows through things, and she's like,
I blow through them.
That's not a big deal. That's not a big deal. And I talk to my wrestlers about that all the time. By the way, I'm a high school wrestling coach. Yeah. Cascade High School out in Turner, Oregon. I'm an alumni there. Go Cougars.
Me too. And we went to high school together. We started dating at 15 and 16.
Yes.
Side note, in case we keep
summer
going.
of love, baby. Spring flings. So I am a coach there, but what I share with my wrestlers is, how are you going to break through the wall? Because in wrestling, it's very tough mentally, but body, it gets exhausted. Your body just, you push it. Third round comes, or even 4 matches in, because you wrestle in practice for 2 hours sometimes, an hour and a half, and you're going hard. If I'm in the room and I see you slacking, I'm going to point you out. And you got to break through the walls, those mental barriers, the I can'ts. And that's been something from the sport of wrestling that I think I've really, truly been blessed by the sport of wrestling. And I'm super grateful. But I get to bring that into my real life, my business, and my marriage. And that's been pretty cool. But that wall you just said, though, the confidence by just being able to
having that vision that was what kept you going, and that was like the end goal. Okay, so, because there's some agents that get to where they're 20 years in the business and they're still working all the time. But I know for us that wasn't the goal. Obviously, I read the book 4-Hour Work Week, early on, and like that was my vision, and I just knew like I wanted to be able to make the most amount of money while also working the least, because there's other things that we value in life more than just working all the time. But we do love working, and we love working with our clients, and it is it brings us so much joy, and we love doing like our best job for them, and so don't take that the wrong way. But it is hard also to determine like how much do you work, because when I'm working, I don't even a lot of times consider it working, because I enjoy it so much. Like a call with a buyer, I don't like, it doesn't
She
feel,
literally just did that before we sat down.
Yeah, and I know it doesn't feel like work because it's enjoyable and it's hard to measure, Absolutely. And this is work technically, but it doesn't feel like it. We're just hanging out.
That book, I think, the 4-Hour Work Week, when you shared that to me or with me, I was young and I was still working my full-time job, and I was traveling, and I wasn't home all the time. Yeah. And I could see it was taking a toll on Mariah. But when she shared that with me, because it was bipolar opposites of how I grew up, I just said, you're crazy. There's
it's not possible.
There's no
it's not a thing.
way you can sustain your lifestyle. Yeah. You can have a family. You can pay your gas bill if you only work 4 hours a week.
It's a lie. Don't believe it.
That's unbelievable.
It's a lie.
So I actually didn't read the whole book, but I took notes of it and I glanced at it. But you shared a lot of the knowledge with me, and just being around you. So it is a real thing, by the way. Yeah. If you don't think it can happen, try it out.
It's intentional. There's a lot of things. This didn't also just happen. Like, we have been very, very intentional with our business. This is because we knew this was our ultimate goal, and we're still not there. We're still moving toward things, but without being intentional, like I was saying, I mentioned realtors that have been in the business for 20 years and they're just burnt out, working non-stop, having heart attacks because they are too stressed.
I see it still in our office. Like, why do you think they're working all this time?
But the way that I think that we do things really differently.
Is it a generation thing?
Maybe it's their mindset. Maybe they want to. Maybe they think they have to. Or maybe it's just also the way we do things. Because I think that the way we get clients, it makes it so that we are able to work less and make more. Yeah. There's just so many little things. Outsourcing. Like, there's so many things but it all comes down to being really intentional, and it doesn't happen overnight. It's a process. But yes, I'm very thankful for how
intentional.
Yes. Intentional.
Big.
Yes.
Big.
Yes.
That's what kind of changed our lives. Being intentional about a lot of things, I think. Whether it was relation time or just going out and getting business time or cold calls. The time blocking.
Time blocking.
Is really, I think, what makes our life different than others. in a lot of ways. And I see that as an outside appearance because here's why. Here's an example. I'm intentional about my time, but so-and-so calls me and says, dude, you don't work. You can come over right now. What are you talking about?
Right.
So on the outside perspective, you're jobless in a sense, even though you technically are working.
Right.
And they don't think that your time is as important as theirs maybe if they were on the job because you're not at the 9 to 5 like they are. They're off day. So they can talk to you in a certain way and feel comfortable saying that just because we have a different job description maybe than them.
We don't trade our hours for dollars when you run a business. But also another thing, like to go along the lines with that, like when we do our show, we have this in our schedule. If we didn't, it would never happen. We have it in our schedule and we do it at the same time, the same day, every single week. And there's times when maybe it would be more convenient to move it around, but we treat it like it is our job. We have to show up because, and people, you might think like, oh, well, you're just sitting down and making a YouTube video and you don't even have that many views. So are you really, but it brings us amazing clients that make us a lot of money. So it is our job. You know what I mean? Like we have to have it like in our schedule or it just isn't a thing. It doesn't exist. Happen. Yeah. So time blocking is huge and actually taking the things that you're doing seriously. But also really just like having clear roles because when you're working with your spouse, we definitely have very clear roles. And I feel like even over time, our roles have just gotten more and more clear and we're doing like, we really hardly don't do the same things at all. Like I know what you're going to do in our business and you know what's my job and we know what our strengths and our weaknesses are, what we both enjoy doing and just don't. And just, I don't know. It just works really well having those clear defined roles.
Which, by the way,
no confusion.
For the audience out there listening, we actually, Mariah and I, we've been talking about, hey, we need to business meet a lot better. We need to create meeting times and space because, like, we're not 100%. We're not perfect. We've been slacking in that area. Yeah. On the business side of like face-to-face business interaction,
like with each other. Yes. With each other.
And business planning. I know the end of the year is approaching, so if you guys are, out there and you're just feeling like the business isn't where you want it to be, or you're slacking in an area you should be just over the moon at. Let's do a business plan with somebody. Call your principal broker. Call your title agent. Usually there's a core group around you in this real estate field that will promote you to success and be there for you and make it where you are where you want to be. Yeah. So take advantage of those resources. If you don't have anybody, send me a comment, a text, a call. We'll set you up in your area. I will call somebody and make it happen. Yeah. It's what I do.
You do. You call people and make things
make it happen, okay?
Yes. Yes, but having clear roles, appreciating each other's like strengths and weaknesses and time blocking, consistency with whatever it is that we're doing, being on the same page is huge. Our clients aren't confused because we don't,
this is a big one.
I've worked with husband and wife real estate teams before and
the way they do it is so
they wanted me to include both of them in every document I sent them, every single thing, which, okay, that's not that big of a deal, but it's whatever. But they also, like, one of them would call me when it came to an inspection, but then when it came to negotiating something, another would call. Like, you just didn't know who to call or contact. And then like I had a circumstance where an entire appointment was missed because of lack of communication with them. So just difficult communication. I'm trying to explain it without, I don't want to like be throwing anyone under the bus or anything or bashing anyone, but it can definitely, if you're both working with the same clients, you're contacting the same realtors, it could definitely, when you're in transactions together, it could definitely, from what I've seen, get really messy and confusing for everyone. And I feel like it just makes more sense for us to we're under one team, but we have our own clients.
Absolutely.
And we've even gone as far as it used to be where, I mean, I started out mainly working with sellers and never worked with, like, I hardly ever worked with buyers. Didn't want to, didn't enjoy it. That's completely changed my view on it. But also I think it's because of the type of buyers I work with and all of that. It's a lot different now. But I love working with buyers now. But we've even gone as far as really, you're mainly like our listing guy and I'm working with mainly relocation clients. And I'll take other things if, you know, a referral wants to only work with me or past client, whatever. But we're really like, we know our roles and we're functioning in them in the business, and like, that's it.
Well, a way you and I have revolved around these roles is when I first got licensed, we would cold call, we do for sell by owner appointments, we do all that. So when we got like an appointment with an individual to list their house, for instance,
we'd go together.
We would go together.
Oh my gosh, I hated going with you. That was horrible.
I don't know why we actually went together. Oh. Now in retrospect, that I'm thinking about it, it kind of didn't make much sense, or it held value. Because we got listings when we did that, but there were times where, I mean, we never heard from him again. I
think we would pull the whole, you're getting 2 agents for the price of one.
Yeah,
which is true. I mean, it's always true. We're always like backup. Like if I can't do, you know, there's always someone that can be like a backup if someone can't do something. But
there's that confusion side.
Yeah, that confusion side.
And just like you pointed out, you're like, I don't know who to talk to exactly. Do I talk to you, Spencer? Do I talk to Mariah?
Yes.
Am I backstabbing Mariah if I talk to Spencer more?
And I think, you know, for me, weird. The hardest part was because I'd been licensed for, I don't know how long, but I'd been on my own. I was used to, I did a lot of cold calling for sale by owners, whatever. So I was used to giving a lot of listing presentations and working with a lot of sellers. And then when you came, it was kind of like this dynamic of like, well, I'm used to giving a presentation, but now you're here and you're really good at it too. And you're also like,
we have different styles.
We do a very different style.
Completely different style.
Oh, completely different. But you're a very like, dominant personality. Is that kind of the right thing to say? So when you come in, you kind of take so it was very like, I almost just wanted to like step back and let you do it. And it was just very like, it was kind of awkward.
Yeah.
And I also felt like when you were there, I just felt like, I don't know why, like more pressure. Like, I'm like, why I've done this so many times, but I all of a sudden, like I'm messing up giving this presentation, and I feel like it's cause you're here and I just don't want you to be here.
Mariah, she would stutter.
Yes.
She'd get like,
and it's something I do all the time. Like I go on these appointments. Well, I did. I don't really do this much anymore because of the clients I work with now, but I used to go on these appointments all the time. But then when he would be there, I'd be like, oh my gosh, I can't do this. I don't know why, but
there is a major pressure.
Yeah.
I mean, there's pressure just walking into a random person's house that you've never met before. Now, when you've done it so many times, like that pressure's off. Like I don't care anymore. Yeah. Like I could have fun and do this. It the most. Right. Seriously. I mean, I really do love listings. I love going in, seeing homes firstly, having shower or sellers give me tours of this home. It's quite unbelievable. I mean, when you're walking into 2,000, 4,000 square foot homes sometimes, and they're just beautiful. Mm-hmm. And you never, here's the thing with me. I never can judge a home based off its external appearance anymore. I can only envision, okay, the exterior, it's a little rough, okay? It's a little dated. Maybe there's leaves or hasn't been pressure washed in a long time. Roof's a little dirty, whatever. But then usually when I get into the interior of these homes, it's just like, what the heck is going on? And it really makes you like realize the type of person you're working with too. Like you step into the home and you're like, okay, yeah. You spend all your time inside. You don't do outside chores, and maybe you work 100% from home, or you're just really into this decor. And it's quite unbelievable the styles that sellers have, and that's something that I love doing when I go on listing appointments. But our styles
are so
different.
Yeah, you're like, I want to sit here as long as I can and talk to you, and I'm like, I'm here to do business. I'll tell you the facts and get your dog away from me. I'm not here to talk about, like I'm very like down to just, I'm like more like I want to be in and out, because that's like I'm high D on this disc profile, and Spencer's like, let me just sit in your couch all day and
Well, I think it's because when I started the business, I was really big. I don't know who did this quote. It was maybe Ferry, Tom Ferry. Tom Ferry. And because I would just watch real estate videos, And I think when I first got in the business, I heard, you don't want to be a secret agent. You don't want to be a secret agent.
So what did that mean to you?
And I'm all like, man, you know what? I'm kind of a secret agent. Nobody knows me. I just got in this business.
My gosh.
Okay, yeah, my sphere knows me. I made a Facebook post, introduced myself, but that's gone. There's thousands of posts every day. You get down in the feed, just like when you post a home in the MLS, it gets down in the feed.
Yeah.
I mean, hundreds of homes get posted on the MLS. So I reverted to that. So how are people going to know me? For me, it's my face. It's my presence. So if I can sit after I get a appointment, because I'm no longer being a secret agent, so I'm calling them, letting it be known. My name is Spencer. I'm a realtor. I work at Berkshire Hathaway. I have a team, the Vettrus Crawford Realty Group. It sounds cool when it's yours, but
I've never thought about it that way.
but you book the appointment,
Uh-huh.
and now you're no longer a secret. They know all about you. They know all about me. And whether it's them telling their life, me sharing parts of my life, it just goes wherever the appointment goes. But I'm also a professional at the same time.
Right.
I think
Right.
you really gotta remember that professionalism as well.
Right.
Which, me being the husband, but also new to the team, that was one of the biggest transformations I saw the Vettrus Crawford Realty going, is how can we provide a better service to our clients, something that we're not doing right now, something for the 5, the 8 years, the 10 years down the road for the referral business. Because if you're a broker, we mentioned this in the beginning of the show. I don't understand how you've been in this business for over 20 plus years and you're constantly working. Why haven't you delegated a job?
Another thing that just popped into my head too, as far as like working less goes, is systems. We have systemized everything in our business. And so it's just so much more turnkey rather than having to, I don't know. It makes things so much easier when you have systems in place. Everything just takes less time. Like things get so much quicker.
But one thing I do want to brag about our company with is the systems that they set in place, like our CRM systems, but also like our lead generation or our referrals. So people that you guys online, you see this video, you go to the comments, you go to our website, you say, you send us a message, okay? It actually alerts Mariah and I both saying, hey, so-and-so, their phone number, email, they're interested in this. They want this property. Or can you tell me a little bit about the area you live in? And so it's all on the back end of our website, which is really, really neat. And there's little tiny things that happen so often being at Berkshire Hathaway. And that is a really big bragging point. Obviously, I pay into having those systems through a desk fee and commissions.
But it's so minimal.
It's minimal to me.
It seemed like a lot when you're
it.
a new agent and you're not making any money, but it's
once you get going,
worth it.
Once you get
sure.
deals going, once you're in the business, and then your commission does come down a little bit more with the company. You realize what's important to you and what's not. Now, there's some people, I couldn't imagine it, but just I mean, you don't even have an office. You're at home. Everything.
I feel like there's
you buy
more
a
of
laptop
that than not nowadays.
and you buy all these systems, so it's a subscription every year. I'm curious how many subscriptions some realtors actually have. Because I know
true.
a few
if your office
that we
doesn't
do, but
provide like the stuff that ours does, like most
smokes.
of these littler, smaller offices don't. You have to, I mean, if you want to be able to do what we do, like the systems, the emails, campaigns, all this stuff, like you have to buy a lot of different subscriptions, and then that complicates things because you have so many different like websites to keep track of, and you have to do like there's just more stuff to do.
Well,
I'm all about simple.
Remember how in the beginning of
this
this show, though, we said we did something similar to this a year and a half ago, but we're different people now. The same applies to your business. The same applies to your website. The same applies to your photo shot. Okay? So every time you do an update for your business, you're having to go and managing all of these websites. Guess what I got? I sent it into my assistant basically through an email. She does it all. She updates everything for me. And I'm so grateful for that in my life.
Right.
Because I'm able to focus on you guys, on our transactions, on prospecting, on closing my current deals. That's the service that I was talking about that we're able to bring to clients.
Right. No, that's true. And if you have like systems in place to make things take less time and to make them easier and simpler, then you can focus your energy and your time on just doing the best job for your clients and serving them. And because there's 1,000,001 tasks that a realtor could or should be doing, but our goal is to, minimize it.
We're watching remember last night, literally this is last night, we're watching that show, the Beverly
I forgot
Hills.
what it's called. Yeah.
There's new agents.
There's so many real estate
There's some
shows.
agents that have been in the business 5 years, but then there's some, they call them senior agents. Senior brokers.
Agents, I don't know.
Yeah. It was one big team.
Yeah.
But like they were pointing out like the stresses of like pulling an open house. And like one broker was like, man, I only have like 6 water bottles in a bag of cookies that I bought from Walmart. There's some open houses that like you're catering the whole thing, you know?
Oh yeah.
So
We've done that.
we have absolutely done that. So there's some things where you're just like, man, what type of broker am I doing? But also how am I gonna
is this really gonna affect like the sale of the home? Like you know what I mean? I guess the one that we had it catered was a much bigger price point than what we were used to selling. But
what I'm talking about is the tasks that a real estate agent performs daily, monthly, yearly. What tasks are you willing to do? And what tasks are you not willing to do? We're not willing to do quite a few of them, so we get to focus on you guys. And that's why I guess I'm stuck on the bragging point of our brokerage, Berkshire Hathaway.
No, that's true. Yeah, I love that.
It's a common question, though.
I agree.
It really is. Like,
it is.
Hey, Spence, tell me a little bit about your brokerage. Hey, Spence, what's the difference between you guys and HomeSmart or Keller Williams?
It's true. It frees up our time to be able to focus on you guys, our clients, and to not be having to run and deliver a lockbox here and pick up a sign here. Like people do them, and we don't have to worry about that, which is amazing. And I love that. And it makes it so hard to ever switch brokerages because I just think about anytime I imagine, I'm like, wait, but then I'd have to do this and this and this and this. And I'm so used to like, I'm not really willing to do that for
you just brought
a
up
couple
one
bucks.
of the best points that I take for granted.
What?
And I feel like some brokers don't even understand it when I text them this and a transaction closes.
What?
I say, my sign guy will be out there on Monday to pick up the sign in my lockbox.
My sign guy.
It's like, I know most companies, some companies don't.
I think it's more just like smaller companies and then the internet companies.
I couldn't imagine doing that though.
And then people say, because the big thing.
Do you see me having a hammer with my suit on?
Do you see me having a hammer and hammering anything into the ground?
Oh my gosh. A lockbox is what it is, but it's your time. You got to spend it. You got to drive there.
Yes. And the biggest thing is like people always tell me, well, people that are at other companies are always like, well, you can hire an assistant for that. But then it's like, do you really want to deal with training someone just for them to probably quit soon and find another, training,
do you
hiring,
know how much
firing,
payroll tax can be?
All the time and money. Like it is, I don't need to deal with that.
I don't need another employee at this time.
I don't need to deal with that. I tried having an employee. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
I think I was 21. I added a gal to our team a little prematurely.
Well,
but also I think I decided it was good because it decided it wasn't I thought I wanted to build a big team, and it made me realize that's not actually the direction I want to go. I really like it just being us, and my goal isn't to have agents, but also, I would just send her, I'd give her leads and they didn't get called or anything. It was just a lot of,
I think it depends on the team member as well. Beautiful person. I do remember her. She was amazing.
She was great. Yeah, she was great. She
at
was
the same time,
yeah,
the ambition and aggression that I would prefer, especially in the time in the market that we were in then.
Right.
This is like 4 years ago.
But then someone that ambitious is probably just going to want to be on their own or like in a couple years, and then you're just going to have to find someone else. So I don't know. That's just my
I just want to work with people I click with.
But I'm really enjoying, like, as far as that goes, because that is a question we get a lot, is like, if we plan to expand our team. I mean, at least as of now, I mean, if Astrid wants to get a real estate license, she can join the team. But besides
let's just leave it here. I have the systems in place that we're able to go right now.
Yeah,
I do, and that's pretty amazing.
Yeah, I like how things are. Anyway, anything else as far as like running a business as a couple?
Well, here's a question, together. Mariah. Do you do the bills, or who does the bills here?
You. Why?
Okay, so my whole point is
another one of our designated tasks.
Yes, it's a task. So like it's simple as like, hey, put something on auto pay, put it on the business card. But like, who's managing the actual finances of the business? Are you both, or is one person? Personally, I like being the one person because it's more organized. I know relations between my bookkeeper, my payroll tax gal. I know all my bankers, and it just makes it easier for us. But, you know, sometimes you do need more than one person, or just personalities. They want to know. Yeah. They want to know where the money's at. They want to know. Yeah.
I couldn't care less.
Exactly. It comes down to a personality trait.
As long as I can buy my coffee, I'm good.
So that's how we do our back end when it comes to financials. I'm that guy. And I like keeping it organized, you know, and I file everything. I'm a hard paper type guy. So hard copy. And I have a filing box. So that, if you guys are curious about that side, that's one.
Well, that is something that's important when you're running a business. And then another thing is, obviously, when you're running a business, you need to, if you're not used to running a business, you need to get into the habit of taking, like, what would you say, 1/3 at least?
For taxes?
Of every paycheck you get and put it away. Yeah, for taxes.
Yeah.
Which is huge.
You need to set aside some money. Yeah.
And when you're starting out.
This is a point, though.
What?
On commissions, we always negotiate a commission, right? So as a seller's agent, people were 6% company, 5% company, 5.5% company, whatever the negotiation may be. But the seller always looks at that commission, said, okay, 5% of $100,000, that's $5,000. Why am I giving you $5,000? You just sold a house in 6 days. You're not doing any real work. Well, let's break down the brass tacks here.
Yeah.
I have to split that commission at 5%. That's $5,000 at $100,000. That's in half. $2,500 of that goes to the buyer's agent. Well, my realtor fees for my company, I'm at an 85-15, you know, at some point, and then I work off numbers from there and negotiate. And then my franchise fee is always 6%. So that $2,500 now gets knocked down to, you know, somewhere in the thousands. And then 1/3 for taxes. So ideally, I may be making $1,000.
Yeah.
So there are more fees involved, and that's not even talking about the subscriptions and stuff. Like I said, some brokers are paying for. I just have a flat desk fee.
Yeah, but now, there are still some that we pay for every MLS system you're in.
Yeah,
I mean, there's a
which
lot,
you have to.
The Association of Realtors. Yes.
Yeah, man, we got some crazy fees.
Yeah,
crazy fees. I know when January, February comes around, I'm like, what the?
There's like a big chunk. All of a sudden, we're like, what was that? It's just auto pay, but. You know,
it's annoying, but you got to do it. That's part of business.
I would never trade it. It's not that annoying if you think about, you know,
it's always annoying giving. Like giving your money away. Not like giving your money, like giving, but like giving your money away, like to the government.
To the government. Okay.
I don't know why I said the government specifically, but there's a difference between tithing, giving, and just giving your money away.
That sounds like that's
I gave money away when Mariah's car was broke down. She still owed $13,000 on it.
Yeah.
I literally just had to give that money away to pay it off.
Yeah.
It was a non-running car.
Well, that was painful.
But I'm
that's
just
not
saying.
Giving. Like giving.
No, that's just giving your money away.
Like when someone needs it, it's different. Like that's.
Our language is very different.
What do you mean our language?
English is the hardest language to learn, right? You got so many ways to express
Chinese
something.
Was the hardest.
I always heard English was.
Really? Maybe it
Chinese
is. You know what?
Live around it.
Anyway.
I'm all about living in that culture, man. Speak Chinese, go live in China. Anyway. What else we got? Anything?
I don't have anything. Unless you have anything that you have to add.
Man. I don't know. Just kind of stuck on like the professional side of real estate right now.
Do you like working with me?
Of course.
I can interview you. Do you like working with me?
Okay. Yeah.
What's the worst thing about working with me?
Mariah, I love working with you. Every time I get to wake up and you're on your laptop, or I get to receive an email from both ends because I'm CC'd with your title agents and stuff, I'm just like, wow, this girl's really doing it. And seriously, this girl works her tail off. She's doing it. She's got Astrid a lot of the time. We got our schedules. Like I said, I help coach wrestling at high school. Guess where she's at? She's usually at home or maintaining Astrid somewhere. And
maintaining.
On top of that, she's got clients, out-of-state clients that have never seen a home, that are buying the biggest transaction of their life. And by the way, they've never seen the home once again. Like, if you can visualize...
And they're always very happy with it. We've talked about it. We've done full shows on this. They're always happy. I always get asked, like, about that, too, because people think it's really risky. But we work with a lot of relocation clients. We've never had anyone say, this isn't what I expected. And again, it's because we have systems in place to make sure things go smoothly. And There's no unchecked boxes.
But with those systems,
there's systems.
Are text messages, phone calls, emails, questions, us talking directly to the seller's agents and saying, hey, I got this question from my buyer. I really need to figure this one out. Can you get me this info when convenient? There's always just something little. And if you're not taking care of the little things, the big things are definitely going to fail eventually.
Yeah, that's true.
And we've seen that with other brokers in our industry, but also those brokers that are trying to build teams right now, and they're just not ready. You know, and everybody's kind of getting on the train of creating content, reels. Yeah. They feel like there's a market shift, which I agree there's a market shift to an extent, but like I tell everybody that I talk to when it comes to real estate, everybody says, hey, Spenc, how's the real estate market? And I say, well, it's good if you're out there finding it.
Or they come up and tell you what's going on.
Oh, yeah, they can.
People have been doing that to me lately. Like, they've been just coming up to me and telling me what's going on in the real estate market. But it's all, like, headline things. Like, you know what I mean? Like, nobody is buying at all. Or, I don't know, like, when there's certain things, like, well, on the other hand, I just negotiated a repair addendum, and my buyers got everything they asked for.
The point is right there.
You know
so
what I mean?
they have a response that's more negative. I usually give them a positive response. And, like, positive responses is my activity in the market today, because we're the professionals here. There's a reason maybe you popped up and asked that question. Yeah. There's a reason. So my job, technically, even if I'm in public with my family, think about it, I'm working. My job is to give them a response, and that's truthful. And a lot of the time, I mean, I'm pretty wide open. I'm black and white usually, and I'm not here to gain a new client in this restaurant. You know, if you really want something, I usually give you the contact information. This is where you can find me, and I'm happy to come out this week.
Or another thing I've been hearing a lot is, I've been seeing this a lot online. Realtors are like scammers, and they're all trying to tell you it's a good time to buy when it isn't. Here's the thing. It's not my job.
There are a lot of videos going on, by the way.
Yes, but it's not my job to convince anyone to buy a house. If you're going to buy a house, buy the house. If you're not, don't buy the house. I don't care. Like, it's okay. It's all going to be okay. That's not my job. However, it is my job to share my opinion based off of what I'm seeing about real estate, about the market, about what I'm actually seeing in transactions. And so I have been doing that a lot, which has been leading to people saying things like realtors are scammers, whatever. But my point is, I'm not saying, like, when I say, I made a video yesterday and I was talking about how one of the reasons, we totally got off topic, but it's all good. One of the reasons why I think right now is a good time to buy is because a year ago, 2 years ago, there were no USDA loans being accepted. There were no FHA loans, like hardly any. It was so hard to get one of those like first time buyer, no down or zero down programs. It was so hard to get an offer like that accepted. Everyone wanted the conventional offer. And now you have a really great shot if you have that offer, if you have that type of loan. And so I was sharing that, and I'm not saying that because I'm like, everyone needs to, like, I'm not saying that because I'm trying to be scammy or, you know what I mean? Or
yes.
I'm just saying that because I think that a little bit of light needs to be shed on a different perspective, because the only perspective that's getting pumped out right now by everybody on YouTube and everywhere is that now's a horrible time to buy. Interest rates are high and home prices are high, but like, if interest rates were low, you would have a really low chance of getting a USDA loan offer accepted.
Right. And so right now the market has positioned just for those buyers and clients in need of those type of loan programs, I believe. Mm-hmm. The difference is your mortgage is going to be slightly higher. We can't deny that because interest rates have increased. But
rent's probably going to be higher too.
There you go. You can compare it to the rent. You can compare it to your car payment being too high as well. And now your debt to income's too high.
But you'll probably still buy the car. Why is that less risky than buying the house?
Hey.
You know what I mean? Like people are so quick to just buy the car. Why? You know what I mean? But then the cars depreciate, the homes appreciate over time. Why is the house the more risky one?
So
let's just think about that.
So we are in a good time to buy, and that's not a scam. That's not a lie, and here's why. That was a rhyme. Man, I'm good. So you're able to get away with the negotiation tools right now. You're able to get out and show a home over the weekend if you work Monday through Friday and you can't get out there during the week. You're able to negotiate closing costs because odds are you don't have them buying a USDA home loan. You're able to buy down an interest rate and do the 3-2-1 programs and be in a 5% something interest rate, even though rates are at about a 7.3 right now. I just named off 4 very, very, very good reasons why to explore today's real estate market. And we can do it in person right now. That's all we need. Leave a comment, text me, email me. Let's see what your situation is. Because I feel like a lot of people have like put themselves in the box.
Yeah.
They really have. They've put themselves in a box and they've joined the bandwagon. They've joined the Instagram post. They've joined the Facebook post of the negativity happening around us. We are in an election right now here in Oregon, by the way.
Yeah.
If you haven't voted, go out and vote. Do it. It might be a little too late now.
Out. Yeah, I don't know when the deadline is. But
the point is, we're in a swing, okay? Economically and real estate. And I think we are going to do, we're going to wrap up the show real quick, though. We are going to do a 2023 market prediction.
Oh, are we?
We are going to. Oh. I love those because, firstly, it allows me to re-educate myself. And then, secondly, give my own personal opinion. And I love doing that. Okay, so my own personal opinion is the only one that matters. So if you got a different one, go pound sand. I'm joking. I'm joking, guys. Okay, but the point is, hold on to your horses. If you just don't know yet if the market's right for you, contact somebody. Reach out to them.
I think a big reason also is why people are more hesitant to buy right now is because there is uncertainty in the market. And I understand that because we really don't know what's going to happen. Things are changing and we don't know how quickly and what direction. Like we just don't. There's a lot of what ifs right now. And that uncertainty, it was uncertain last year when we bought, but now it's like another level, because it's always been uncertain, but now it's like just a different level of uncertainty. Yeah. And when people are uncertain, it makes it harder to make a decision, I think.
Yeah. It's definitely been a ride. I can leave it at that. And there's so many people, realtors out there that are just like, what do I do? Like, what do I do?
Yeah.
Because it kind of in some ways feels like time has stopped. And you can look at it that way, or you can say, let's go out and go get some more business because the population is so big, it's unbelievable. Go talk to your neighborhood. Go talk to an apartment complex. There is so much opportunity out there, whether it's real estate or the career path you're currently in. You have to seek these opportunities. And sometimes they do come to you. But ultimately, if you're going out, something's going to happen. Don't do the poor me story. Go out and build the wall. I don't know why I said a wall, but go build it.
The wall.
Build it. It's your foundation. It's up to you. Spencer, inspiration. All right, guys. I'm going to wrap up this show.
Okay.
If you haven't already followed this page, follow it. We come out with new content.
Subscribe to it. YouTube lingo. Okay.
we come up with new content weekly. Who knows what comes out of Mariah and I's mouths? We kind of rambled today, but
we had fun.
Let
us know what you think. Let us know what you want to hear us talk about. We need to go check our baby monitor because our daughter's napping. And we'll see you guys next week.